you should be looking at the whiteboard that I have here, and if you're looking at it, you could see that there is an octopus there. That is the molar mass octopus, whose only job in life is to make sure that you feel comfortable calculating molar mass. And so what are you going to need for today? There's the list of 3 things. We already talked about it. Um, I don't know why that's there. Um, and so let's get started today by just going over the 2 problems that I was really concerned about on the homework, okay? So the homework that you had, I believe there were 6 problems, and these 2 are pretty much the only 2 that you could not just type the problem into Google, get an answer, and then write it down as if you solved it yourself. The other problems were asking you for the molar mass, and the idea was that you would use the skills that we practiced in class to calculate them yourself. But I noticed by the answers that most of you just Googled it and then wrote in the answer, because you took your answers all the way out, in some cases, to 5 significant digits. Okay, no, you guys know that we round our answers to 3 sig figs, and so you didn't learn much from that. And the reason why I know, when you are not honest and you just Google the answers, the reason I know you're not learning is because for problem number 6, when you could not Google it, okay, because I made up the elements for problem 6. So if you tried to Google an alien compound, you got nothing. And so many students either didn't do it or got it wrong, while still getting the previous 3 problems correct. Come on, guys. It's easy to see when you're not really doing the work. So stay away from the Google machine when you're calculating these molar mass problems, so that you actually learn how to do it. Okay, because when the test comes, and that's going to be next week, at the end of next week, you're going to have problems like this alien compound problem. And so you want to know how to do these. All right, let's work them through and make sure that you're feeling good about it. So let's start with problem number 2. Okay, problem number 2, if you weigh out 54.94 grams of manganese, how many atoms of manganese do you have? Well, what you should have done is that you should have realized that you're looking at grams per, actually, you know what it was? It was grams relating to moles, right? And so you could go into the periodic table and you could locate manganese, all right? And so manganese is right here. It is atomic number 25. And guess what? The molar mass of manganese is 54.938, right? So 54.94, it's the same number. So let's put it onto the tablet here. So if you had 54.94 grams of manganese, that's equal to 1 mole of manganese, right? Because that's its molar mass. And 1 mole of manganese is equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of manganese. Not magnesium, manganese. And so there's your answer. All right. Now, to be honest with you, many of you got it right. Good job. Okay. Once again, this is one that you could have just put into Google and you would have got an answer back and you could just write it down. But you should understand the idea behind it, because remember, there's always ways that I can change these so that if you Google them, you'll get the wrong answer. Okay? All right, so if you did this one and you saw the connection, congratulations. We're going to be talking about how to go from a number of grams to a number of atoms by doing these mathematical conversions shortly. Okay? All right, so let's look at numbers. The next one here. Homework problem number 6. This is the one, the infamous alien compound problem that only a few of you got correct, okay? And you may be thinking back, and if you were able to calculate it out and you came to 29.0 grams per mole, congratulations, you're right on track. And there were, I would say, maybe a third of you who did that. You know what you're doing. Thank you so much. But then again, there were other people who either didn't answer it, said, I don't know how to do this, so that means they didn't even try, or answered it incorrectly, which is actually pretty good because that means you gave it an attempt, or ignored it completely and wrote nothing. And that just means that you don't know how to do this, okay, guys? You don't know how to calculate molar mass. So let's do it together, and you'll see how easy this is. So you have an alien compound. The compound is G2Q5, okay? And if you type that into the Google machine, you will get nothing because that does not exist. And so let's use the steps that we learned about how to calculate this. So we know that the element G has a molar mass. It's given, look at that. It says that the molar mass is 2.0 grams per mole. So we're just going to write that down. 2.0 grams for every mole. That's easy. Now there's two of them, right? So we're going to multiply that times 2. You see that? We're going to multiply that times 2. And then we're going to add that to Q. Q is up here. It's got a molar mass of 5.0 grams for every mole. And there's 5 of them, okay? So there's 5, and there you go. Now, there was even a few students amongst you who showed your work. Awesome. You know, you're the ones who deserve the A in the class, right? Because you're really doing this stuff. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this easy math problem. 2 times 2 is 4, right? I'll put that here. Plus 5 times 5 is 25. The unit's going to be grams per mole. So what do we get? We get 29.0 grams for every mole. Yes, I agree with you. That's how easy this problem was. But if you're not paying attention in class because you turned down my volume, or you're on your cell phone, or you're watching TV, then absolutely you don't know how to do this. So make sure that you stay, involved, and that you watch and learn how to solve these problems. Okay? All right. Now, with that being said, okay, go back, take a look at your homework. But there are a couple more here that we're going to run through right now, and we're going to do together, just so that you get a good feeling for this. All right, so you've got all your tools. You've got your calculator. You've got your periodic table, and you're ready to go. So let's do it, okay? So here we have calcium, okay? And if we look up calcium, it's in group 2. Its molar mass is 40.0. grams for every mole, right? Plus, we got chlorine here. Chlorine is a halogen. I see chlorine is 35.45, so we'll round it to 35.5 grams per mole. And there's 2 of them, right? So we're going to multiply this times 2. Oops. Don't need to add anything more. In fact, it's time to do math, right? These problems become pretty easy. What the heck did I do here? Sorry, guys. 35, I'm crazy right now. 35.5 grams per mole. Okay, times 2. What am I doing down here? Excuse me. Through the miracle of modern technology, watch, we'll just make it like it never happened. Okay. Alright. Okay, it'd be nice if you would draw. There we go. Alright, so now we have a pretty simple problem. Okay, get out your calculators. Calculator makes this easy. So we've got 35.5 times 2. So 35.5 times 2. That gives you 71. Now add it to 40. Okay, plus 40. And you got 111. That's even 3 significant figures. So there, you're good. 111, and of course the unit is grams for every mole that you have. Okay? All right, are you going to have a problem like that on your homework tonight? Absolutely. That's why I'm doing these specific ones. Okay? Can you go back to your homework and can you look at what we've done as you do your homework? Can you look at your lecture? Yeah? Of course you can. And that is going to only work if you're actually taking notes, right? So Parents, if you're sitting there watching your student at work, make sure they have a piece of paper and they're taking notes. Okay, let's do another one. So we've got, this one has parentheses. Ooh, scary. It's not really. Let's do it together. Okay, so we've got calcium. All right. Calcium, again, is in group 2. It's 40.0 grams per mole. Okay, and if you don't know where I'm getting those numbers, refer back to the last set of notes where we talked about how to get those. Oxygen is here, okay, but there's 2 oxygens. You got to be careful. So oxygen is 16.0 grams per mole times 2, right? Plus, we got hydrogen over here, which is 1.0 grams per mole times 2. And your math should look like mine. You should be writing these all the way out. Okay, now get your calculator. Let's do some math. Remember, order of operations. Do the multiplication first. So you have 2 times 16.0 is 32.0, right? So 32.0, and then you've got 1 times 2, so that's plus 2, and then plus 40, right? Plus 40. I just added these together. And so what I get is 74.0 grams per mole. You don't need to go to Google and cheat. Why would you need to do that? This is so easy, right, guys? You can do these. You make an attempt, you can do it. Now, the next one I really want you to watch because there is one in your homework that's similar to this. So let's do this together. Same idea. We're going to calculate the molar mass, right, guys? So we need to find aluminum's molar mass. And aluminum is all the way over in group, 15, 13, 14, 12, 13? Yeah, 13. And 26.98. So rounding 26.98. So if we have 26.98, we want to round it to the 10th place. We got to look at that. That turns into a 10. You add a 1, so it's going to be 27.0, right? All right, so aluminum is 27.0. Had to do the rounding game. Remember, everybody knows how to round, hopefully, by the time you're, 12. So rounding, guys. Remember that skill? You learned it in 2nd grade. All right, 27.0 plus, okay, nitrogen. So there's nitrogen here, but there's 3 nitrogens. So nitrogen, if you look at nitrogen, nitrogen's over in group 15, and it's 14.0 grams per mole. So 14.0 grams per mole, and we got to multiply it times 3, right? That's where that comes from. Now add that to the oxygen. Oxygen is 16.0 grams per mole, but we have to multiply it 3 times 3. What's 3 times 3, guys? 3 times 3 is 9. Don't write 6. That's 3 plus 3. Okay, I don't know why I'm telling you these things are so basic, but you never know. Students do this. Okay, so let's do the multiplication first. So we got 16 times 9 equals 144. Woo! 144 grams per mole. Okay. Plus, we got 14 times 3, so let's do that. 14 times 3, that's 42. Take your time on these, guys. Write down your work so you can, if you make a mistake, you can see where you did it. And then we also have the 27 grams per mole up here. Okay? So we're going to do this math. We run across this, so let's do it. So we got 27 plus 42, okay, plus 144, and that gives us 213. Now that is a pretty large molar mass. You would say that is a very heavy compound, okay? There you go. Pretty straightforward, right, guys? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a minute right now